5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello, everybody. Once again, welcome, fight fans, to another edition of Wet Boxing 101, podcast number 33 on this beautiful October, kind of chilly night out there. But we're coming to you by way of Warriors Edge Boxing Gym and promotions. And you know what, folks, is as raw as it gets. While kids are training in a boxing gym, we're interviewing people from the boxing world. How cool is that? And if you hear the boxing bells in the background, it's because we're going live. Nothing recorded, nothing like that. In a little while, guys, we'll go live on our Facebook page, and you can see who our guest is. And speaking of that, tonight on the show is boxing entrepreneur and CEO of MALO Fight Gear. That's right, MALO, como malo en español, MALO. We'll get to the bottom of this. What does MALO mean? But yeah, he has that cool logo that I'm going to show on my screen in a little while. But he's going to be on our show. Please welcome Mr. Bobby Cruz. Welcome to our show, Bobby.
Thank you, Trey. Thank you for having me. Pleasure to...
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, thank you.
And you want to stay live, you're going live here on Facebook. So, Bobby, thanks for coming out to the Warriors Edge Boxing Gym.
Thank you for having me.
You got it, my friend. Folks, don't forget, man, if you want to comment on the show, and it's recorded as well, so if you want to go back to Facebook, into YouTube, you can hear any podcast. We had Daniel Ponce Leon on the show. We've had Teresa Tapia. We had the great Herman Delgado on the show. So if you missed any show in the past, you can go back and listen to it on YouTube. Right, or any questions, comment today, please share and comment. This podcast is about you guys, all about you guys. So the bigger we grow, guys, the better it is for everybody in the boxing community. And this is why we've established the Boxing Podcast. And it's a first of its kind in El Paso, Las Cruces, New Mexico, and Ciudad Juarez. So we want to welcome everybody tonight for the podcast, and of course Bobby Cruz, as he's sitting on the barber's chair here at tonight's podcast. So we're going to talk boxing with Bobby. Hey, I like that, boxing with Bobby. That's pretty cool, man.
V&B.
Yeah, V&B, boxing with Bobby. Bobby, who do you have on the show today with us? Who's with you?
My son Jacob. Jacob, he's a runner, and I brought him along, and it's just...
Jacob, how old are you? How old is Jacob?
17.
He's 17, and he does he run cross country?
He runs cross country and track, and he run all year long runner.
Wow, he's an athlete, right? What high school do you go to, Mil?
Fabens High School.
Oh, Fabens High School. All right. Well, hey, Fabens, are they what? What's the mascot?
Wildcats.
The Wildcat. That's a pretty cool name, man. Wildcats, man. Seems tough. Bobby, we're going to talk boxing. So let's go on and see what's going on in the headlines at boxing today, right? Big fight this weekend. We got Josh Taylor looks to outclass Regis Progress in the unification fight. That's going to be a very good fight as part of the that tournament. Regis Progress versus Josh Taylor is going to be in the OT Arena. It's going to be for the WBA IBF Junior Welterweight Unification in the World Boxing Super Series Final. And it's going to be on DAZN. Unbeaten super lightweights Regis Progress and Josh Taylor will be squaring away this Saturday from the World Boxing Association Super World Super Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. And it's a very highly anticipated fight. And again, it's the final of this big Super Series tournament. That's pretty good. And it's going to be at the famous O2 Arena. Josh Taylor is convinced his experience and boxing ability will ensure that he is victorious this weekend over Regis Progress. Whichever way the fight goes, It's going to be a very good fight. Again, it's going to be on DAZN. Progress is an American, right? And he is 24-0, so it promises to. He has a lot of promise in this world of boxing. He is from New Orleans, but he trains out of Houston, Texas. Big saludo to all the Tejanos out there, right? He has stopped 20 of his 24 victims and makes his first defense of his WBA belt on Saturday. And it's going to be interesting. Now, who is his opponent? And you know what? These are the fighters that you see a lot in UK and all that. I have them on my screen. They faced off today. Taylor's 15-0, and he's from Scotland. All right. Also makes his first defense. And again, he beat this Russian called Ivan Barkant in May, earned him the IBF belt. So they're going for the belts. IBF, they both have belts, so it's going to be good. Taylor, who has the advantage of boxing in British soil, has dismissed the relevance of the betting lines and insists that he's a better pedigree than Progress. I think Progress is a little bit more wild. Do you know any of these fighters, Bobby?
Well, I've been following the DAZN network, and it's just awesome for the boxing fans.
Why do you say it's awesome for the boxing fans?
Because it just showcases a bunch of just young talent from all over. The promotion that DAZN's bringing with all these guys coming from all over across the U.S. I mean, across all over U.S. and overseas, obviously. Yeah,
and you know what? In the past, we probably would have seen this fight or not heard of this fight because Showtime or HBO wouldn't have picked it up, right? So yeah, DAZN's cool. And another thing about DAZN, Bobby, is that they show the whole card.
That's true.
And they show all 14 fights on the card. That is fucking awesome,
right? The undercard. And those are the most of the ones that just have a lot of scrap to it.
Yeah. What do you think of this fight?
It's going to be a slobber knocker, no doubt.
Yeah, slobber knocker. I like that. Right? They're both going to bring it. It's the final of the Super Series. What do you think of this boxing Super Series? They've never had them. It's a tournament. What do you think of that, man?
Well, I think anything that allows the fighters to showcase their skills, they always want to be put on the show. So I'm all about that, just putting fighters on the show. And as long as it's good, good fights, I'm all about that.
Wow, Taylor had said that he is 100% confident that he's going to beat him in every single department, right? If he tries to box me, he keeps me long, will not get anywhere near me. He's shorter than me, so he said he's going to beat him, and he is a taller fighter than Progress. Speaking of taller fighter, it's just like if you saw the Canelo Kovalev. Kovalev is way taller than him, right? And we'll get to that, Bobby. We'll talk about that fight because I know you have some interesting comments on that. But yeah, maybe size is a big difference, right? Who knows, right?
We'll see.
So it's going to be an interesting fight at the O2 Arena. Taylor continued to say that I know his power. He's not going to bother me because I've sparred middleweights. So a guy my own weight is not going to bother me. I think he's going to rely on his power, and I don't believe that's enough for him. That's what he said. He's a good fighter and does a lot of things well, but I see a lot of flaws in him, and I will exploit them. Of course, Progress, however, believes he is more versatile. And he says he's not just confident, he's super confident. He says that there's no way he can beat me. So all his fights look at the same, and all mine look different. So and he's from Scotland, so you know who the favorite here is, probably the American fighter. Scott, I've never heard of this guy. I've heard of Progress, but not Taylor. So it's going to be a good fight, and like you said, it's on DAZN. It's a good fight to see this Saturday on DAZN, and all the undercards going to be amazing as well. So, Bobby, let's talk about what my next topic is, because it's on the headlines, is the Canelo Kovalev fight. Tell me what you think of that fight, if Canelo's moving up 2 weight classes.
That's what I'm, looking forward to see, is Canelo stepping up to fight somebody. His other fights, I would say, were more favored to him. The promotion, Golden Boy, kind of feeds him in the sense they want him to win, so they're gonna give him fights that he can win. I think this one's a little bit more of a challenge, not like that Rocky one that he fought a couple.
Rocky Fielding.
Yeah, that was
embarrassing.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but
so you think Kovalev will give him a test?
Maybe, I hope so, just because of his size. I mean, I'm not too much of a Canelo fan. I know that's
That's okay. I'm not either.
Okay.
I mean, I like the guy, but well, I'm not gonna say I don't have a poster of him, because I do. I have a boxing gym. I like Canelo. And let me tell you why I like him more now, because he took this fight. This is a very dangerous fight. You know that Canelo walks 180?
Yes.
He just walks like that. But he's always fought at 165. He's fought lower opponents because he can make that. He can cut that weight. But normally he walks at 180, like on a normal day. Whether he's fighting or not, he walks normal. So I don't think it's going to bother him too much. But I respect the guy now more, And I don't want to see a third fight with Triple G. I like the fact that he took this fight. Let me tell you something, man. Kovalev is dangerous, whether he's old or not. He is a dangerous fighter. He's comfortable at 175, and he's probably going to balloon up more. I think it's a dangerous fight, and I agree with you, Bobby, that it's pretty cool that Golden Boy and everybody said, look, we're going to take this fight, and we're going to take it to him. So, do you think that Canelo's going to be? Is there any? Do you think Canelo will be bothered by anything Kovalev throws at him?
That's a good question. It's gonna be good TV. It's gonna be good TV. I'm excited to see that fight because Canelo's stepping up, like I said, in weight, and that. Truthfully, I'm just like I said, I've never been a Canelo fan, so anytime he fights, it's kind of like Mayweather. You kind of watch to either see who he's gonna fight or if he's gonna go down. But I've just nothing but hopefully it's a good show.
And I think it's going to be a good show. Canelo said, again, like I said, WBA middleweight and super middleweight world champion, and he's a franchise holder. Canelo Alvarez is making no secret of how he plans to take down this big light heavyweight. He says, and the secret is that he's going to go to the body. And then Buddy McGirt, which is the coach of Kovalev. You know who Buddy McGirt is?
By names, just...
Buddy McGirt was the trainer of Arturo Gatti.
Okay.
Buddy McGirt was also in the corner of the last fighter that passed away, not the last one. That he said no more. He said I don't want to fight you. I don't want you to go out there no more. Then the later the kid had died in the hospital. But Buddy McGirt is a world legendary coach. He trained Arturo Gatti. He's in the corner of Kovalev.
I wasn't aware of that.
That's pretty good, man. He said they're gonna go for the body. Canelo and work it, as you see folks on my screen hitting that bag. He looks tough. Right,
I've seen highlights of just what's going on, how they're gonna sell the show, and man, every time he hits the bag, it's scary.
I saw 40 Days.
I didn't get a chance.
Well, you're not missing much.
Oh, okay.
This is my next grab. I like the zone, but that was horrendous. You know why?
No.
Don't get me started. Here we go. The zone has this show called 40 Days. It lasts 5 minutes. Don't waste your time on it. So they highlight these fighters, right? You know who produces that show? LeBron James. Okay, that's what the fuck. Okay. Well, he produces it. You know who they had interviewed on that 40? I thought you were gonna comment on it. I put something on the. I had 2 comments, and I thought you were gonna comment, Herman. I said they have a rapper talking about boxing, and then they have a basketball superstar talking about this instead of boxing experts. What the? It was boring, man. I mean, you know what I miss? HBO 24/7. That was awesome.
That was a show.
That was a 30-minute show.
That was a show.
And they followed these fighters. See it and look, man, comment on my page and tell me, yeah, you were right, Trio, you were wrong. I just didn't like it. But you see on that show, one thing also that I got bothered is that, the fighters face each other, okay? There's no animosity. There's respeto. That's good. But you need a little bit of fucking animosity between these guys. So then, you know what Kovalev does? He approaches Canelo, hugs him. Let's take a selfie together. Oh my God, man! And you're like, is this a real fight or is this Kovalev? I don't want to say it, but maybe taking I don't know. So Canelo can make history. Fuck, I want to respect it, but they're taking selfies, right. And I love you and.
That was unheard of back in Herman's days, right?
I mean, God damn. Maybe afterwards.
So they were kissing like Victor Ortiz.
Kissing like Victor Ortiz. Herman said it. Herman's in the studio too. I mean, you're like, what the? Well, I mean, again, as far as the transition to light heavyweight, Canelo says he's still good, and if you saw on the photos, guys. You know what I mean? He's got to take those risks. He's got to take risks. And like I said, I respect him more for taking the risks. So it's going to be a good fight, huh?
Question on that. So you say they fight at 174, but he walks around 185.
Yeah.
What do you feel? What do you think he's gonna come in fight night, Canelo? As you say, like 188.
Well, he's probably at 175. So he's probably going to come in at 180.
But are they going to have the double weigh-in again?
No, I don't think
Oh.
so. So he'll probably come in at 179, maybe 180. Yeah, he just said it. He's eating more protein, and it's for his advantage to come in a little bit heavy. Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys are the boxing experts. Come in a little bit heavier, be a little bit stronger for those body punches. No,
I've never taken those body punches, but
Herman, what do you
It
think?
don't matter.
It don't matter.
It don't matter.
So you think he'll come at 180?
Yeah, he'll come in at 180.
Yeah, and
He'll be all right.
Kovalev will probably come at 182. That's normal for him,
Yeah.
right? He is older, man, but yeah, I mean he's taking that risk, and it's going to be an interesting fight for Canelo. Be a very good fight. It's going to be a very good fight for Canelo, and we'll see, man. It's going to be a good fight for boxing.
no doubt. And that undercard too with
Ryan Garcia.
Ryan Garcia and I can't remember his name.
Do know.
Yeah, that one. I'm looking forward to that
That's
one.
going to be a very good fight. Let me tell you something about Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia needs to stay humble, and he's not. He was already bitching at De La Hoya for something. I mean, come on, kid. I mean, you're going to be in an undercard of a huge card fight. I hope he stays humble.
Yeah. I guess it's when they blow you up that fast, that
Exactly.
much. You know, I mean, it's. I guess that's a different animal itself.
Good. Another thing. So it's going to be a good fight. You going to see it?
No doubt.
All right, man. Hopefully you can come and see it over here with us.
I appreciate. Yes.
All right.
All right.
We're going to have it here at the Warriors Edge Boxing Gym. You know who James Kirkland is?
James Kirkland.
Let me give you a hint. The Mandingo Warrior. No,
Is he out of Houston?
he's out of Houston.
Yeah. Okay. It's just I'm.
No,
really,
he's out of Austin.
Okay.
Remember his trainer?
I'm really bad with names.
He returns, folks, to San Antonio. James Kirkland, remember the one that Canelo knocked him out, right?
right.
I thought he killed him.
Right.
Boxing returns to San Antonio's Alamo Dome on November the 9th with middleweight knockout artist James Mandingo Warrior Kirkland, which is 33-2, taking on the New Orleans Nightmare, Jazz Phipps. I don't know who this guy is. It's a 6-round main event. The card will also feature other pros, but it's going to be at the Alamo City. And why I'm talking about it, because I like Mandingo Warrior. You know why? Because he had a good training regimen. And I wanted to see the kids that had that. The way he was trained was amazing by trainer Ann Wolf. Ann Wolf is probably going to start in movies. She started already in the movie. The former junior middleweight contender has signed with Davis Entertainment, which he will get reunited with Ann Wolf. When he fought Canelo, she wasn't in his corner. Let me tell you, man, this trainer is tough. He would lick him. They would go to training camp, and Kirkland would stay in his own little room. No TV, no communication, no phone. Every morning, and he would treat him like shit. And in the ring, he would talk to like shit. Get your ass, get over there, do this, right? Tough trainer. I don't know to what extent is good, but she was a very tough trainer. And every time he's been by his corner, he wins. Tough as can be. You know what struck me too? We want to get a truck here like that here at Warriors Edges. He had a truck and he welded a boxing stand at the end of it, and he would run and hit the bag for miles while she drove and yelled at him.
Wow,
that was cool, man. I think if that happened now, we would probably go to jail because we have a bunch of snowflakes. Maybe they'll probably call CPS on us, man. Jesus Christ. And I mean, snowflakes. Warriors Edge doesn't breed snowflakes. Not my kids.
They call the 1-800 number.
We're tough. No, my kids are tough, right, Herman?
Oh, yeah.
We have some
Very
tough kids here, man. But I'm talking just in general, right?
Right.
Wolf was not in Kirkland's corner when he had that third round loss to Canelo Alvarez. We asked about what it was like to see Kirkland battered by Canelo. Wood predicted what that would happen. To see James like that, see his mother upset like that, see everybody upset. It wasn't I told you so. I'm happy because that happened to you. It was fucked up. That's what she said. Wow. The pair were known for Wolf's brutal training camps, which pushed Kirkland to the very limits. And I don't have a picture. I thought I had it. I don't. And did truly get the best out of the talented and powerful boxer who wasn't always able to focus on his career and stay on the straight and narrow and all that. Wolf was also not in Kirkland's corner back in 2011. Simply put, that James Kirkland trained by Ann Wolf was one fighter, and that James Kirkland not trained by Ann Wolf was another. Do you think brutal trainings are good for the fighter, Bobby?
I believe so.
What's brutal to you?
Well, this depends on every different training methods. I would say different trainers. Some trainers, they say that they're tough, but you kind of just watch their training methods, and you're just like, well, compared to this other trainer, I mean, it's not as hard. So every trainer has their own ways.
I like their training style because I'm like that with my cadets at the work.
Oh yeah, I believe you have to. I believe you have to put in the hard work before the actual competition. So when
tough love, man.
Yeah, tough, no doubt. No doubt.
So we'll see James Kirkland. Well, I think he's going to lose. He's kind of old already, but I've been a big fan of him.
He's the guy that Canelo has on the highlight reel, right? The one that's knocked out.
Yeah, big time. It was in Minute Maid Park, Houston, Texas.
One question: do you think that kind of knockout ever has an effect on the fighter, like after a couple?
Of course. I mean, sometimes they're never the same. And you see fighters like that have been brutally knocked out like that, they don't come the same. Kirkland didn't come back the same no more.
Do you believe it's because of the actual knockdown or because of everybody reminding you and the highlight reel being there?
Probably as a combination of everything, man. Maybe afraid, combination psychological, physically, psychological, and post-traumatic stress disorder. There's a lot of combinations, I believe, to somebody getting like that. It's like if you suffer, if something happened to the person, say you had a traffic accident in this four-way stop. And then every time you come back to it, you relive that moment. That's not chronic post stress disorder. That's acute. So you never know, man. Maybe these fighters have that. You probably say if you've been touched already, you're not the same. Remember Chocolatito Gonzalez got brutally knocked out. He came back, lost. They're never the same. And you see a fighter when they get knocked out like that, they never come back the same. Right? I mean, right, Herman? Medrick Taylor was one of them.
You're right, and then also the fact that every time that Canelo fights, Golden Boy replays that highlight, and if Kirkland's watching, he's like, "Oh, there I go again."
Yeah, maybe. You know what? Or it can motivate him.
You're more cautious.
You're more cautious.
You hesitate to do what you used to do because you got hit. Last time you did that, you ended up looking up at the lights. So.
Yeah.
You question yourself, second doubt.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, and again, it's all that. A lot to do with the stress, that all that, the flashbacks. Who knows? And Kirkland got brutally knocked out, like Amir Khan. And here we go again. Welterweight, Canelo coming down to those weights. Of course, he's a beast. He walks around 175, 180. These guys walk around at 150, 147 maybe.
147 is the cut, right?
That was Kirkland. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. That's why Canelo's been, badass. So that's why I respect him for coming up in a way. Yeah, he rocked Rocky Fielding too, but we'll see how he does with Kovalev, right?
That's right.
Earl Spence, you heard about his accident. I'm glad he's all right, right?
Man, that is scary.
Yeah, I mean, drunk driving. I mean, I like the guy, man. Hopefully he learns from the mistake. And we said on the last podcast, hopefully he comes back and he's a role model to kids. If this happens to him, hopefully he starts talking positive. Don't drink and drive,
Yeah, he could be a great advocate for that. When I saw that video, and I was like, how could someone survive that and just being thrown out there without wearing a seatbelt?
Yeah, I mean, God has a plan for everybody. There is a WBC convention going on, and they're doing all the mandatories. Well, guess who he will face next? Any suggestions? Any clue who they said Earl Spence must face this guy when he comes back? Anybody?
Pacquiao?
Nope. He's not a mandatory for him.
Crawford?
Nope. He's the one. I like the guy and I don't like the guy. His dad talks a lot of shit.
Danny Garcia.
WB says that IBF WBC welterweight champion Earl Spence will be defending next against former 2-division world champion Danny Swift Garcia. Spence will then have to face his IBF mandatory Kudratillo Abukarov. In other words, Spence will be making back-to-back mandatory defenses. It is a tall order for the 29-year-old Spence because he was involved in a terrible accident, and then he's got to return to face Garcia. WBC quoted and said the following, that IBF champion Spence will first make his WBC mandatory defense against the number 1 ranked silver champion, which is Danny Garcia, and make his mandatory IBF defense next That's what's said on Wednesday in the WBC convention. So, hey, man, I mean, it'll be a good showdown to see Danny Garcia, right?
It would be. It would be. I got to, not to name drop or anything, but I got to meet Danny Garcia's dad, and that guy's a character, man.
He is a character.
He's an awesome guy, and he actually, we all know that he loves the camera, and man, that guy was just so awesome with pictures, and he was just like all about it. Danny was on a different different mood that day, but his dad was just really awesome. So nothing but great stuff to say about his dad.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not that I don't like the guy as a human being, but I just sometimes he does talk a lot of shit. But hey, man, but then what did we just say right now, man? When they talk like that, they sell tickets, and you want to see those fights.
That is true.
And then at the end of the day, man, they're just good, respectable fighters, and they're there for one another to help each other out, knock heads out. But then at the end, they're good sportsmen, right?
That's what it's
right.
about. That's what it's about.
Well, speaking of sportsmen and all that, that'd be a good fight and all that. Folks, don't forget that my podcast tonight is being sponsored by Texas Law Shield, Firearms Legal Defense Program, 24/7 attorneys, answered emergency hotline, and if you're a member, you pay 0 attorney fees. So visit www.texaslawshield.com. Those are my sponsors for tonight's show, for tonight's podcast. Texas Law Shield. And you know what? If you carry firearms or not even firearms, you need a representation because it's a crazy world out there. You know, and again, I want to send a shout out to all my brothers in blue, brothers in gray, brothers in brown, as being law enforcement, 22 years at your service. Thank you for the job you do. There was another incident yesterday, but nobody got hurt as far as the law enforcement. So my kudos to law enforcement and everybody that does that job. So on the show today is Bobby Cruz. Thank you for being on the show, Bobby.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us about yourself. Tell us who you are, where you grew up, schools, family, etc., etc.
Okay, well, I won't get too personal here.
No problem.
Name is Bobby Cruz Jr., and I'm from Fabens, Texas. It's about 25-30 minutes from here, and I'm originally from there, and right now I have a house out there. My son goes to school out there, and we pretty much just what can I say? Fabens, man. Fabens is always about representing. You know, everyone talks about El Paso, but soy de Fabens, and
but Fabens is like El Paso.
A little bit. A little bit. You know, it's not that bad with the traffic out there. Everyone coming out here to the east side takes 25 minutes to get out there from my shop over there on the Bassett area, so it's not bad at all. It's actually really good. It's only 25 minutes since.
So a shout out to Fabens. Does anybody want to give a shout out that's looking at you guys? We're on Facebook live.
Well, the only one, just my mama. So appreciate everybody watching out, and most importantly, my mom.
You can share this later on. You know that, right?
No, yeah, most definitely.
Cool deal, man.
I am. Like I said, we have my son in here, guest with us, and I appreciate Tree for having us here. A little bit about me. My name is Bobby Cruz from Fabens. Like I said, growing up, I followed a lot of the boxing scene, and this is why I'm here is because obviously because you having me here, invited me here, but it all starts through my therapies. Everyone thinks it's MALO fight gear. The logo that I wear here is actually my sponsor. It's not. It is me. Don't get that wrong. It is me, but it all starts through my therapies, MALO therapies. And
why MALO?
MALO therapies.
What is MALO?
Well, I guess
does it stand for something, or it's MALO like we say it's like MALO?
MALO like in badass. Like I've been over there like in North Carolina.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, like MALO, just like the name. MALO, badass. Good. You know what I mean? Like
that's what I figured. I mean.
Yeah. Just like I'll tell you a little bit of the story how it started.
All right,
how it actually started, but it all starts through my therapists. I've been a therapist for the last 12-13 years. It's kinesiology incorporated with massage therapy and all these other modalities that I bring to the table. Along the way, I've been able to get even a piece of paper called the first aid paper, and that paper has allowed me to also work corners. What I mean by that is just learning, hanging around, fight school. Okay.
Keep going.
I'm sorry. So coming up along the way, the therapies, how it started was through kinesiology. Went to UTEP community, finished up, did some stuff there. Went to massage therapy classes. In between there, just got all these other modalities. Like I even said, a piece of paper from first aid paper. all this, putting it all together, calling it MALO therapies. Now I come into to bringing that to the gym, MMA gyms, boxing gyms, working with guys that give me the experience from, I just don't want to name names, but anybody here in El Paso that has been giving me experience, meaning from Escalante to the Valenzuelas, and just a bunch of other local names that I like to give a shout out to that have given me an opportunity.
So you train other fighters?
Well, it's not training.
Giving them therapy.
It's through therapies, and we help with the nutrition part. We help with the weight cut part. We help with everything in the corner, everything but the hits. We don't teach the hits. We don't teach anything that the head trainer is going to teach.
You said about nutrition. So like Canelo is, of course, has a nutritionist. Do you when you do that? Do you actually? So you know what goes in the fighter's body, what he's eating, right?
Yeah,
you really do, right?
Yeah,
you have to know, right? You're the one that prepares it, right?
Well, I have, my background is on that. You know what I mean? Like.
So tell me what you thought of Canelo when it was the tainted meat.
When he was eating that tainted.
What do you think, man? I mean, you're in that. You know more than us on that. What do you think that was legit? Do you know he knew? Did not know? What did you think, man?
We all know that you know what you're putting in your system, and so maybe if you got that carne, from, he goes out and we all going to Mexico, and you go out to the streets, maybe you eat that barbacoa from the side of those tacos. I don't know.
Okay, but do you think he's gonna eat barbacoa while he's training?
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. If you're in Mexico and you're gonna eat there, but you're a fighter and you're training, you know exactly what's gonna be put in your system.
That's what I'm asking. So you, as a trainer, you were preparing for Oscar. What is it, Oscar Valenzuela?
I worked with Valenzuela. I worked with Urbina. I worked with.
So you were part of that food the regimen and all that. So you know what's going in their body, right?
Yeah, yeah. Of course, you know what they're eating daily, day in, day out. No doubt, you know what they're eating.
And how important is a person like you to a fighter?
Well, I would like to say I'm vital to a career because we like to prolong their career. You know what I mean? We're not in it for 1 to 2 years. We want them. Have them 10 years in the career. That's the way everyone's gonna make money.
Cool, man. I mean, so you're into all that. My son's into all that too, and that's what he's going to school for.
I met your son. Very, very awesome guy. He knows just so much. I learned from him today, as a matter of fact. I stopped by. Yeah. We talked a little bit, and very knowledgeable young man, and very young, and he knows his stuff.
Yeah, good, man. And I'm glad that kudos to my son. Yeah, he knows he's gonna be like you, man. He wants to get into all that nutrition and training, and you know what? One of the most important things that when you surround yourself with positive people, you have positive results.
That is. For sure.
Right.
That's the one thing I've learned in these 37 years is being around the positive, hanging around the positive. It's only going to bring you up.
So then you're into kinesiology, sports medicine.
Massage therapy.
Massage therapy.
We have from the kinesiology, we incorporate all these other modalities, and what we do is we try to prolong the fighter's career by working on the muscle. And then we have a chiropractor that will refer you to a couple chiropractors that I know. But more than anything, what we're doing is we're working corners to help that fighter get to, every sparring is like going through a car crash. They go through. Yeah, so what we want to do is we want them to come in the best shape, fight night. And what we do is, obviously, with the head trainers, we go along with the head trainer. And I'm always just the second voice in there. Never a voice in the corner, but always the second voice when it comes to the preparation, when it comes to nutrition and the health side of it.
That's cool, man. And it's very important for a fighter to have a person like you.
Well, I believe so, because it prolongs a fighter's career, and that's what it's about. No one's gonna make money in this for 1 to 2 years. All the fighters, it's about a longevity in this and I don't want to call it a game because fighting is not a game, but in this career, this fight industry, you want to prolong a fighter's career. It's like having a watermelon or cantaloupe, and you open it, you know that it's gonna go bad. So all you want to do is you want to put that.
Preserve it.
Yeah, you want to preserve it. You want to put it back into the refrigerator, and that's kind of what I do. Is every day in, day out, working with the fighter from the hands to the calves.
So that's how MALO started. That's how you started with that. Are you working with any current fighter right now?
Right now, as a fact, right now, no. We worked with a couple fighters from Las Cruces as of late. two guys up with Louis Burke, Savion, and
He just fought in Vado, New Mexico.
yes, Savion.
I had him on the podcast.
And Brandon White, the two guys up from Las Cruces.
Good kids.
Another guy I've worked here a lot on the MMA side. We've worked a lot with the MMA. Jesus Urbina's a guy that we've worked with. And then we've worked with just any of the local guys here, from Escalante to the Valenzuelas, and anyone that you've seen at your other gyms around town.
Yeah, wow, that's good, man. So that's how MALO originated. So how did you get into? So tell us a little bit more. What is also MALO?
Okay, so MALO therapies. That's how I come in. That's how I come in through the door.
Okay.
I'm a MALO therapist, and I work the corners. So along the way, I created this other logo, MALO Fight Gear. Because fighters are coming to me and they were asking for sponsorships, and they're like, "Hey, Bobby, $20. Let me put your name and phone number on the back." And I started doing that a couple times, and I was like, "You know what? Let's change it up. Let's change it up a little bit, and let's change this to MALO Fight Gear." And
I like it, man. That's pretty cool, man.
So we ended up changing the logo to it and calling it MALO Fight Gear. And we've been running with it ever since. With that, we've been able to put it on combat sport equipment, meaning from gloves to shin guards to
So then you get it done, or you do it yourself?
No, I have them shipped.
Cool.
I have them shipped to me.
So did you bring some equipment today?
Yes, I did.
Can we show it off on the camera?
Yes, we did.
Can you help them, son? How many miles do you run?
6 a day. On a good week, he'll get like 49 to 51 on a good week. And we're talking about 6 days.
And I'm a runner. And I'm a runner. 2 months I did 50 miles. 6 miles a week. At my age, not bad, man. I do run. I run a lot.
Yeah, I think that's...
All right, so is the gloves. Not about me, man. It's about you guys' show.
Here's some of the
You
gloves.
can put it on the camera so we can see it.
There we go.
You can get closer right here if you want.
See, we got
that's pretty cool, man.
We got some black ones here. They got that strap. Was it your 10 ounce all the way up to your 16 ounce? Obviously, the 16 ounce is going to be more for, added protection cushioning. Let me see here.
I think the Warriors Edge boxing team will be the official gear of Warriors Edge boxing. What do you think, Coach?
I think so. Those are nice gloves.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
These are nice.
Here's some more, I would say, for the heavyweights.
So you see them on the camera. You can put them on the camera there.
So we got them in black, blue, red. Just a couple of colors.
So,
what we do is we add that logo just on any kind of.
So let me ask you a question. What a glove like this will run? If you can say that on, I don't know if you can say it on there.
Well, right now we're still in works just with everything from figuring out the pricing
You can put 'em on
to sampling them. The biggest thing right now is sampling them, and I want to get the fighters on them so that they can tell me like, hey, I like the padding here, I like the padding over here, more on the wrist, more protection here, whatnot. For same thing with just different styles. But these right here, they go at those are at $49. Those start at $49.
Okay, $49.
Yes, sir. And our hand wraps start at $5. Everything that you find at Academy at Dick's Sporting Goods that are $11, $12, $12.99, you can get the exact same thing, hand wrap, for $4.99, $5 here with me.
Do you have stock, or it's by order?
No. I have it. I keep it in stock. The only thing is everything is ordered through me. Pretty much the back of the trunk of my car is the way I've been doing it.
Good, man. So we would like to do something for you, is promote your gear here with us.
That'd be great. Thank you.
And we'll put it on our website. And for this month, leading into all November, because they're already in October, you will become the official sponsor of Web Boxing 101. Folks, we're going to display it on our videos and on our podcast. My video guy is working on your logo already. You're going to see it this week. Let's ask you for some stuff. It doesn't, no cost, my friend. We'll put you out there if you want.
No, I appreciate it, Trey. Thank you.
So
Thank you so much.
MALO Fight Gear will be the official gear of Web Boxing. We're going to do booth displays as well, and you'll be more than welcome to put a banner up on our facility, our gym, whatever the case may be. We'll do that for you for the month of November.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So that's MALO Fight Gear, and it's all the boxing gear. That's a very cool logo, man.
Thank you. What we're trying to do is, within that logo, we're looking for the Chicano, the Mexicano, the Latino, everyone that, the name. You know what I'm saying? The name. So So I think there's a market out there for us.
That's pretty cool, man. I think there is. I mean, that's good. I think you need to go out there more, man. Should have had a booth there for the Vado, man. We didn't have a booth out there, man.
Well, you know what, this...
Were you there?
I wasn't there at the fights. The reason was because my son runs cross country on Saturdays, and we were out for an event. But the reason I've taken out this fight season, in a sense, is because he runs on... right now he's a senior and he's running, and we're totally into that, and he's really good, and he's going to make it to state this year. So
wow, man, congratulations!
So I'm 100% involved in that. So that's what we've been working on.
All right, so that's MALO Fight Gear. Why are you so you have no amateur boxing experience?
Well, I messed around and put the gloves up when I was younger, but nothing officially. Nothing officially. I hung around the gym, but nothing official. Just the normal gym rat. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to stay. I fell in love with it because I wanted to stay in the ring, but I knew I couldn't take a punch, meaning that I was a bleeder, man. You hit me in the nose, and all of a sudden, mole. So I knew I couldn't take a punch, but I wanted to stay involved in the fight game. So what a
great way to stay involved with your own brand.
What a beautiful way, man. I've been very blessed just to keep going.
And you know what's so cool? I mean, it's cool because you see title and Everlast, and they do whatever the hell they want with everybody. But that's good to see MALO, man. You know, we do a big event, Clash of the Titans.
I've heard of it. Yes, I've heard of it.
That's our tournament. I'm the one that created it 10 years ago. With the help of the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. That's my sponsor. So hopefully in the what's going to be next, we brought Mikey Garcia last year. The next one's coming September 2020. Hopefully we'll have your banners up on the rafters on the lights, man. That'd be cool, man.
We're going to work
we want your logo on our fight gear. What do you think, Coach?
Well, that looks awesome.
Yeah, I like them on the trunks of the kids, man. So we'll work something out. So
it's good that it's MALO and not mole. So you're in El Paso, so you're not involved with the local boxing commission at all, right?
No.
You don't work with USA Boxing?
No.
As far as partnership or nothing like that, right?
Nothing affiliated with them.
Okay. Why do you think of boxing being introduced into high schools?
I think they should do it. I mean, there's wrestling. I wrestled in high school.
Because you wrestled, yeah.
Yeah, I wrestled in high school, and so I feel, that it would be, obviously with headgear.
Of course.
So then there shouldn't be no problem.
Why do you think there's not any boxing? People don't know. They're not educated.
Well, I think
they think it's too violent.
We were talking about how we created a society that's kind of softy. I think we were just talking about earlier. Wrestling is tough, but we're talking about fighting, like the boxing. So I said, why boxing's not in the schools right now? It's just because we've kind of watered down the school, the system at school, where we're not gonna the bullying. Yeah, a little bit.
Do you think also the media has a lot to do with it? You know that when the media came out with movies like Concussion, all this stuff, everything out about football and concussion and the protocols at the NFL and everybody, a lot of people started losing. A lot of programs, football programs, started losing athletes. That's what I heard. You think it's media also that it's out there more? People are getting more educated. I mean, I think football and wrestling are more violent than boxing. And then what doesn't help is that we lost 3 fighters this year already.
Right. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
So but I think boxing is a safe sport as practice as well, just like anything, football, anything, right?
When you have the proper people supervising it, and you make it. Where it's healthy, where it's competitive, healthy, then I'm all for that.
And you know what, Bobby? I mean, I haven't heard from you that much, and because maybe, like you said at the beginning, you like to promote yourself more. But we need people like you. Boxing needs an all around good people. What I mean, not just good people, all around. Boxing just doesn't need fighters and coaches. It needs people like you, people that do the equipment, people that sell the equipment, people that know boxing, people that are fans, people that do podcasts, people that own gyms. We need all this big help. That's why I asked you if you were associated with any part for the LBC or USA Boxing. We need people like you and people in positions to be a referee, to be an official. If you like the fight game so much, maybe you should become a. They're always looking for officials. I know after your son, graduates, I understand, but maybe in the future, man, they're always recruiting people. We need officials, and it doesn't take. You don't have to have experience. Just you'll learn.
That is something I'll look into.
If you like sport, the boxing so much, just imagine being an official for amateur boxing. They're always looking for some because in with the old, in out with the whatever, old out with the old, in with yeah, you know. So we need officials. So maybe that's something you consider because you like boxing and I can see your passion. So the next question for you, and you said that you deal with a lot of MMA fighters, boxing or MMA, what do you like better?
Boxing.
Right? Do you think MMA has overshadowed boxing and is taking over the contact platform?
No, I I don't want have anything negative to say about the MMA community or
yeah. I mean, I've had Cristobal here. He's pretty good too, man. And I'm gonna have the upcoming in the fall lineup. We have a badass dude, man, from Bushido Gym.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There's Hugo.
Hugo.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Hugo. Yeah, you know him?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't know him personally, but we reached out to him. They reached out to him, and he's agreed to come on the show.
Yeah, I worked with him.
He's a good guy.
With yeah. I mean, everybody in the community is a good guy, right? I worked.
He's
with,
a badass.
Yeah, he's a badass. I worked with Alita Gray, one of his. At the time, I worked with Alita Gray. I remember we went to. It was Orlando. And unfortunately she lost. But he was the head coach, the main trainer.
He does MMA, right?
Yes, he's an MMA instructor.
Yeah, so we reached out and we're gonna have him on the show talking about MMA and what he does. Because you know what, like I've always said on my podcast, this is not about my gym.
Okay.
It's about everybody's gym.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear because a lot of times when I visited gyms, the environment that I get, not from this gym, okay, but the environment that I get from a lot of other gyms is like kind of like gangs, in the sense that they don't want to go and train at different gyms, and I believe that's where El Paso hurts itself, because how can you not involve all, like if you got one good fighter at this gym and one good fighter at this gym, you got to bring them together and have good sparrings, especially if they're in the same weight class. But a lot of times this fighter won't go to this fighter's gym because he doesn't travel or doesn't talk to this gym over here.
Well, I mean, and you know what? It's just about promoting each other. They might say, well, Tree, you're full of shit because you promote your podcast. And look at what's behind you, my logo, right? Yeah, I mean, I have to dress it up. I'm not going to put another gym's logo, I understand. But I've always said in my podcast, I promote other gyms.
Oh,
I think there's awesome, man. I think promoting other gyms. Look, man, the sun comes out for everybody.
No doubt.
We're not stingy here at all, man, at all. Yeah, I mean, I can even promote other gyms. I'll put the banners if you want. I have nothing. No animosity over no gym, nothing. Yeah, it's a cutthroat sport, but at the end of the day, man, we're here to work each other. I mean, we're here to work with each other, and at the end of the day, it's for the kids.
And at the big day, it's a community. It has to be a community event. Like you gotta have this gym, and this gym, so that way you can have more fighters.
You know, I have kids that come out and I ask them, where do you when they're gonna sign up with me or they want to train? Where do you live? Well, I live in the West Side. You know what I tell them? Have you looked at other gyms? There's the Wolf's Den. There's this gym. Because look, man, you're gonna travel all the way over here. I don't want. So that's promoting USA Boxing. You know, I got brochures, and when I had my booth, and if you visit my booths, I have USA, and they ask me, and I'll say, hey, why don't you see this guy? Why don't you see that person? I don't want everything from me because at the end of the day, I'm going to lose if a kid comes from the West Side. But then we also have people that travel. I have a kid from Alamogordo, New Mexico, that comes 3 times a week here, and he says he loves the environment. It's just, and they've always said the environment.
The environment, and also the kid is very dedicated.
He's dedicated, but it's the environment that we create, man.
That is true.
We have tough love here, and then we have some good coaches that are not as tough. So the kid needs that balance. So yeah, man. I mean, it's promoting gyms, like promoting your brand.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I can't stress that enough.
We want to promote your brand. That's pretty cool, man. So you like boxing over MMA? You have an MMA favorite fighter?
You know what? Reading, I guess, the headlines today, I was really looking forward to that Nick Diaz fight and that BMF title, bad motherfucker title, as they're calling it now. But it's
well, he's
like
not gonna fight no more.
No, he's not.
Can you tell the audience why?
He was eating like Canelo's meat.
No, was it tainted meat?
Canelo's meat.
No, that sounded bad. Was it tainted meat? No, he was tested. They don't know yet, but he tested positive for a banned substance, and he says that's bullshit. So he says until they come out to the bottom, then he'll fight. But that was going to break records as far as viewing. That was a UFC 240. I don't know what it was. There's
44.
44. There's just so many of them, man.
Yeah. It's they're lined up one after the other. But it was that Jorge Masvidal and Nick Diaz. So I was looking forward to see that one this weekend. So now that's not going off, I'll be completely tuned into the DAZN completely.
The Zone.
The Zone. Yeah.
The Zone offers Bellator.
Yeah,
You know that? That
yeah,
does,
yeah,
right?
they do. They
have
do.
Bellator on there, and have MLB. They have all that. So the zone's awesome. There's 81 plus title fights guaranteed a year, man.
It's a great app. It's a great app.
I think it's a great app. The only thing I don't like, you know what it is? The commentators.
You know what? It does drag a little.
They don't know.
It does drag a little. You know what I really like though is the price, the $10.99.
Yeah.
The way they do, and it's affordable for everybody.
It's $14.99 now.
Oh, well, okay.
It was $10.99 when we started. You're right,
Yeah.
because we've been loyal fans in the beginning. But I don't like the announcers, man. I don't like. And then Fox too is horrible. Jesus Christ, Kenny Alberts. He's
You
the
know
main,
what? You're
really
right.
He does football, man.
You're right. When I'm listening to him,
it's not the same.
I'm thinking football whenever I hear his voice.
I like Max Kellerman. I like Jim Lampley.
The Showtime guys, right? HBO
No,
guys.
Showtime's awesome, man.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen Showtime fights, man. You know, I like Showtime, man, and I really miss HBO, man. Period. You know what? Also, Bobby, I want you to visit us on our web boxing podcast page. There's a lot of good news feed of boxing news. So if you want to comment on that, feel free. We need more fans to be on that page because it's not just our page; it's your page. So do you think that boxing has made it very difficult for fans to follow? For example, in boxing, we have numerous champions, made-up belts, titles like the franchise holder. Lomachenko became the second franchise holder for the WBC. You know what that means? Meaning that they have the keys to the Cadillac. Him and Canelo are the only ones right now. And a franchise holder, what he does, he picks who he wants to fight. He picks, man. In other words, he has the keys to the WBC. That's what I heard, right? So, as opposed to MMA, where there's not as many champions, do you think that it has turned off fight fans because there's so many belts? A silver champion, golden champion, WBC this, WBC, IBF. I mean, Jesus Christ.
It seems like every promotion has their belt now.
In boxing.
In boxing, yeah. It seems like
Everybody's a champion.
Yeah, it seems like every promotion has their belt. You know, at the end of the day, I just like seeing fights. I like seeing fights being put out. At the end of the day, yes, a winner is raised, and sometimes a belt, the trophy is handed out. But at the end of the day, you just want to see a good fight.
All right.
And that kid, you know what I mean, just walking out of it, healthy.
Of course.
Yeah, that's
so. Obviously, you're a passionate boxing fan. So how different is boxing now as it, let's say, 10 years ago, in your eyes? Because you're talking about big fights and all that. Well, I want to know.
You know what? What gets on? I can say what grinds my gears right now is say a lot of the fans that they criticize the boxers, meaning they're like, oh, that fight was thrown, or that fight was
But
bought.
it's always been like that.
You know, yes, but this is what I feel is that a lot of the times us as I'm saying me as my peers as fans, we don't hold the judges accountable. You're gonna see them judging in 2 weeks. You're gonna see them judging again. We don't hold them accountable.
Well, there is no policing them. There's no, can I say, a union? There's no organization that holds judges accountable. There's not.
And they're the ones that dictate the score, the final score. And everyone thinks like, oh, the fighter's bought. I'm like, no, man, that guy gave it all. This guy gave it his all. They're giving it their all. It's at the end of the day.
So do you think if judges were held accountable, boxing would be different?
I think if the media would push them out, you know what I mean? And just like the way...
The media will what?
I think if the media would hold them accountable,
Okay.
just
well,
like...
not the media.
No,
the sanctioning bodies.
No, I'm saying the media because, for example, after Canelo fights, after a McGregor fight, they get a press conference. And then sometimes you'll see the promoter get his press conference. Why don't we get the judges?
Put them on the hot seat.
Yeah. And then that's what I'm saying. And then that way you have ESPN filming on them. That way you won't have that lady. Yeah, you won't have that lady in 2-3 weeks judging the next big pay-per-view fight.
When you mean by lady, I know what you're talking about. Adelie Bird. Adelie Bird made a horrendous fucking call. God damn, horrendous on the first Canelo Golovkin. She had a 117 or 112. I don't know, something like that. And you were like, what fight? And you're right. Hold these judges accountable, but there's not a body or an organization that holds them accountable. Like Teddy Atlas said, it's bloody murder because these judges are not held accountable. right?
Right. And so
and then you'll see him on the next title fight.
yeah, exactly. And so that's the only thing I guess right now that really gets on me is when fans they like, oh, that guy didn't give it his all and he didn't give it, or it's
You're right,
ta
it's the
vendida
judges.
is sold this, and I was like, no, it's not. Why don't we hold those judges accountable, and why don't we put them on the spot? But now
Put
that
them on a probation, man, like they do the fighters now. Why not them?
well, let's put them on ESPN after the fight, like and just like
and Tom, what did you see?
Yes,
and
yes.
why did you score that?
And once once the media gives them some kind of light, then maybe Golden Boy
Good-
or
good
these
point.
big
That was a
shows
pretty good point.
won't have them, and I think that's how
Very
you
good point.
that's how you nip it in the bud.
Wow, that's a very good point. You know, what was one of my ideas about judges too is don't pick the judges ahead of time.
Don't pick.
You know what I mean? Say, for example, there's a fight in December. They're already doing the contract now. So they have a month. Think about it. See those 24/7 shows. Make their own assumptions of them. Maybe the fighter does something they don't approve. They start. Why don't you pick the judges the night before the fight and fly them into and sequester them in the room and don't let them leave at all? What a great idea, huh?
Right, or if we hold them, just like
But I like what you said.
you know how we know the referees. A lot of the times, as fans, people think that the referee is the judge. A lot of your normal generic fan, they're thinking the referee is the judge. But what if we make the referee the judge just as popular as the referee?
Yeah, you're right.
Because all the time we're always getting like, for example, the Mayweather fight, we're always getting that same referee, Kenny Bayless or no?
Kenny Bayless.
Yeah, and he I don't know how many the last 10 Mayweather fights he's been the ref.
but it's in the contract, right? That the champion gets to pick the ref.
Oh, okay.
Herman.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay.
I mean, because it's like the fighter picking the ring.
Oh,
This is
okay.
what I want, and he's a champion. What did they give him? Whatever. But you're right. I mean, the judges. He wants Kenny Bayless. So you mean Kenny Bayless has been in the Pacquiao Mayweather fights and all that. But he's a good ref. But you're right. I like the fact that let's hold these judges accountable.
And just make them famous by the media, and by Sports Center, all these other small medias, just shining some light on them, shining some light.
Yeah, and then after every great big fight, the scorecards come out, but they don't get to explain it. What I wanted, and you're right, man. I wanted to see what she saw and why she saw that, and maybe if we would clear something up like that, maybe the boxing fan will better understand
Why she scored it that way.
why she scored it, and maybe they could score it. Have you ever scored a fight? Do you actually sit there? I've scored fights.
No, not.
And actually sit there and score.
Oh, okay, yes. At home, yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
10-9, 10-8,
yes.
yeah.
At home, I do that 10-9, 10-8, yeah.
On the fight, we're gonna have the Kovala Canelo fight here. I'll print out some scorecards and people will be scoring them. So it's pretty cool, man. 10-8, 10-9. I think it's good for the die-hard boxing fans like us. But yeah, you're right, man. Hold these judges accountable, right?
It'd be nice.
Natalie Bird, I like her dad. Robert Bird is another good ref. But she continues to ref, and you were talking millions, lives at stake. I mean, everything's at stake here, and she does horrible calls, man. Right? The guys, you like Raul Kai Senior and Junior, they're good refs, and the daughter is also a judge, so it's a family thing.
Yes.
The Kais.
Okay.
Good, yeah. So yeah, man, good point there, man. So that's how different it was, right? Who's your favorite prize fighter right now, Bobby?
Favorite prize fighter right now, I would, as of late,
Now.
I would say Pacquiao, just because how he treats his fans. And
Okay, what about in 10 years ago? Who was your favorite prize fighter? Pacquiao.
You know what? I'm 37, so I would say after he beat De La Hoya, because I was brainwashed into the De La Hoya.
I like De La Hoya.
Okay.
I've always been a De La Hoya fan.
Well, I mean, not brainwashed, but I mean, we grew up. I grew up.
I grew up with De La Hoya. Here's another thing. De La Hoya fought everybody, regardless of what people talk shit about him. I like De La Hoya. I think he's done good for the sport. I really has. I don't give a fuck if he drag or I know he's being accused of sexual assault right now, and I don't put it on my newsfeed because that's not boxing. I mean, look, everybody's human. I'm not saying it's right what he did. Hell no. And if he did that, he should be held accountable. But as far as boxing, I like the boxer. I've always liked De La Hoya when he fought Ike Corte. I really thought he beat Felix Trinidad. He fought Fernando Vargas. He fought Mosley. He lost twice to Mosley, and I thought he won one. I like De La Hoya. Good fighter. For me, past tense, he was one of my favorite fighters.
Yeah, I would say, I was instilled into my brain because my dad was a huge De La Hoya fan, and I remember that first time that he came to the Sun Bowl, I was like 10 years old.
What do you fight, Carpentier?
Yes, yeah, Carpentier, and I was like 10. I don't know. I was really young, and that was my first time my dad ever took me to boxing,
Cool,
and I think that's where where we are now.
Wow. So who was your past? And then now it's Pacquiao, right?
Yes.
Pacquiao beat the shit out of Thurman. That was cool, huh?
It was very surprising, and the reason I'm saying Pacquiao's my favorite fighter right now is just because the way he treats the fans and how huge of a superstar he is. And this past summer we went to Wildcard Gym up in LA, and me and my son got to hang around his entourage, and he had that fight with Thurman coming up, but he was
Cool,
still
man.
all about
Wow,
the
that's
people.
cool.
Yeah.
Did you see his gym downstairs?
Yeah, the Freddie Roach's downstairs gym.
You went upstairs or downstairs?
Downstairs.
Yeah, that's the real gym,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
But upstairs is a real gym, too.
Oh, no, that's...
It's just a regular gym, man.
yeah.
Everybody. Where do you think we got the $5 daily fee here?
Ah.
From the Wildcard Gym when we went out there.
Yeah.
They charge $5.
Yeah.
So we charge $5 here.
What you gotta do is you put no cameras.
That's what they said, too.
Yeah, no cameras. I'm like, oh, man. No,
Yeah. But they let you take pictures outside, man. You know what? When I was there, I met Mickey Ward. Cool dude, man. Mickey Ward was awesome. So let's go back to that we have a girl here, Kayla Delgado, is going to be one of our main upcoming fighters. Look out for her. Watch out for her. She's going to be a pretty good fighter, right, Coach?
Oh, yeah.
She got invited to train with Pacquiao
That is awesome.
2 summers ago.
Wow.
So she trains her. She's pretty good, huh?
Oh yeah,
She's going to be a firecracker, man. Look out for her, folks.
What's her name again?
Kayla Delgado.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kayla. We call her Kayla here. You know how they say fight of the year, fight of the decade? Do you have anyone? Anything that comes to mind? I got a lot. I'll name 3 of them if you name 3 of them.
Go ahead, name yours.
Diego Chico Corrales, Jose Luis Castillo won. Remember that one? Referee was Tony Weeks, by the way. A shout out to Tony Weeks. Nice guy. I met him at the Vado, New Mexico Speedway. That was a highlight of my day, man, meeting this guy. Tony Weeks, man.
His Hall of Fame.
Woo, Hall of Fame ref, man.
Yeah.
I met him, and he was so cool. Thanks to Mr. Robert Velas. He introduced me to him. But anyways, Castillo, Diego Corrales, remember that fight? And Diego Corrales gets knocked down, and he spits his mouthpiece. Tony Weeks gives him a warning, takes a point away, comes back, gets knocked down again. Castillo was on him. I thought he was going to win the fight. Diego Chico Corrales comes up, and they stopped the fight. He had him on the ropes, and Tony Weeks stepped in. At first, when I saw it, I thought that was premature. But hey, as looking at the video, that was awesome. And still to today, I see that fight. It was very awesome, man.
Okay.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
Number 2 fight for me will be the Mickey Ward Arturo Gotti one.
Okay.
Mickey Ward and Arturo Gotti, blood and guts. These guys, no title bout. It was just true warriors, just fighting at it, just going out there and fighting at it. Jesus Christ, they were just going out there.
Wow.
You ever seen that? The trilogy. It's a trilogy now.
No, I know. I need to. I need to really get on it and get on my history, my boxing history.
And my third one is a tie. I got 2 of them, but I got to go a third one. It's going to be Juan Manuel Marquez versus Manny Pacquiao 1. Marquez, first round, gets knocked down 3 times, breaks his nose. Nacho Berestin tells him, breathe. You got to go to darle en la madre. Juan Manuel Marquez gets out there with a broken nose and does a stellar performance for a draw. Jesus Christ, what a fight, man. Manny Pacquiao, Juan Manuel Marquez won.
What round did he break his nose?
One.
Oh, wow.
Knocked him out 3 times. Remember that one? And Marquez is down. He has white shorts, and at the end, they're red. It was a draw, right?
Yeah, I believe so. That was
You can look. It was a draw. It was a draw. I think it was a draw. And a close one to third is a Timothy Bradley versus Ruslan Provocalim.
That was what
One.
I was just thinking. That's my number 1.
Oh my God, man!
That's my all-time favorite one. That's my all-time.
Why?
One. Just because I think it was when the first time I heard I grew up as a Rocky fan, right? And
Yeah.
so they're calling this guy the Russian Rocky, so that's what stuck to my
The
head.
Russian Rocky.
And I was like, oh, and then I just seen the way he would just come at Bradley, and
And he didn't last because the way he fought, man.
yeah, that is right.
And Joel Garcia was the trainer. And Joel Garcia reminds me of Herman. He looks like him.
Joel Garcia.
He
Oh,
looks
okay.
exactly like Herman. And he would tell, let me tell you something, man. Do not fight this guy. Get away from this guy. It was in the get away from him. He didn't listen. Bradley, Desert Storm, went out there and fought the fight of his life. First round, third round, he was tired as shit. 8th round, 10th round, he was 12th round, he was getting knocked out. He was already dragging almost his knees on the ground. But that was a good fight.
That was, yeah.
And all those fights, I go back home and still see them. It motivates me, man. I love those fights. God, those were good fights, man.
Yeah, that's just, man. Yeah, so that's what really got me, is when they started calling that guy the Russian Rocky, and that's when I was like, oh, who's this guy?
He was a Siberian Rocky.
A Siberian? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
He was from, and you know, these guys come up and they have nothing to lose, man. They live in poverty, man, and they come to America, and I like to see these guys, the guys from Ukraine, all these guys, man. They come out here and really work, man. You know that?
Yeah.
They don't have everything that Americans do, man. So they really work hard. I'm not saying the Americans don't work, but you see all these fighters stricken from poverty, coming from the ghettos and their own, and they come in here, man, and they put on a show, man.
Well, I heard that the government of Russia puts on a good program for the wrestlers, the good program. So I wonder if they don't help the boxers out.
Well, I'm not saying they don't help them. They do, like Puerto Rico. They have very good boxing programs. But what I mean is that the kids on their upbringing, they come from poor families, and the only outlet is boxing. And all these, they really do have good boxing programs at a very early age, and that's why you have Puerto Rico fight champions. That's why you have people for like Lomachenko. That's why you have some very good talent coming out of these
third world countries.
Yeah, very good. I'm serious, because the kids are brought up in
poverty.
Yeah, man, and that's all they know. And boxing is cheap. You just go in there and hit a bag. You don't need expensive golf clubs, or you don't need a court. You just go out there and hit a tire, hanging it from the tree. And am I right?
Yeah, it's like soccer.
Yeah, and these kids just come. Soccer as well.
Yeah,
and that's why these other countries beat the hell out of us in the Olympics.
Yeah.
I was in Brazil 2 years ago, and we were training, and we saw the national team, the Brazil volleyball national team, and I thought it was junior Olympic. He goes, no, it was the actual Brazil team. And these girls are 13 years old. 10, 13-year-old, 12-year-olds training. I mean, for hours they were training there. And again, that's why they're the best. And they come in here and beat the hell out of us sometimes, right? And it shows to prove that, our USA boxing program at that level is not good right now.
You would say because of the dedication? Or
There's a lot of politics here, man. I know AIBA is also in trouble. And that AIBA is ran by other countries. I mean, the president is from, I think they fired the president last year. I don't know the story behind it. I had it on my podcast one time. But, yeah, I mean, that's why they're so good, man. That's why the Siberian Rocky, he turned heads, and he was a very tough, dangerous fighter. I haven't seen him since, so who knows. But, yeah, that was a good fight. Timothy Bradley, Siberian Rocky. Bobby, anything else?
No, just real quick. Do you think we don't see that Siberian Rocky anymore because what they call now punch drunk? Is that what?
Probably. I mean, you know what? I haven't seen him lately.
Think he's made his money and just
I don't know. I haven't seen him at all. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen him. He's taking a lot of punishments. That's why they call him Rocky, because he took so much punishment to the head. I have not seen him. It's something to research, and I'm going to research it. I haven't seen him at all. I mean, but that was a good fight against Timothy Bradley.
You're right. I gotta rerun that. So that was a good fight. Just it's a motivating fight. Like you said, when you replay it, it just you can just find motivation from that.
Any other fight that comes in mind?
I was a big Mike Tyson fan coming up. So I'd watched a lot of Mike Tyson growing up. I watched fights. I like the whole violence out of it, when someone gets knocked out. But what is scary is when someone's eyes roll back, and all this stuff happens, and you're just like, oh man.
Yeah, boxing is violent,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, that's that's why they say, oh, it's a game. It's not a game. It's it's not a fight game. So it's a big cliche when they say it's a fight game. I'm like, no, it's a fight. Why do you call it a game?
Yeah, exactly, man. We have the top 10 list that I have here. I'm going to run down the top 10. Tell me real quick what you think. Number 1 is Vasily Lomachenko. This is off the Ring magazine. Every other podcast, I'll give you the top 10 that's current. Vasily Lomachenko is at number 1. He holds the Ring magazine belt, WBA, WBO lightweight. Terrence Crawford, number 2. I don't agree with that, but he is number 2 right now. He's the WBO welterweight champion at 147. Number 3, Canelo Alvarez. He holds the Ring magazine, IBF, and the WBA middleweight.
Question: how many top belts are there? Would you say?
There's only 3. No, Herman.
3. Okay.
WBA, WBO, and WBC. The IBF is the oldest one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was thinking. Okay.
Well, there's a lot more,
But
those are the main ones.
The 3 main ones.
The ABC belts.
Okay.
Number 4 is Naoya Inoue. He's the Ring IBF from Japan. 5 is it 6? I'm sorry, 6 is Alexander Usyk. You know who this guy is?
No.
He's a light heavyweight. He just fought 2 weeks ago against Witherspoon. He's moving up to heavyweight. He's pretty good. Earl Spence at number 7. Gennady Golovkin at number 8. Juan Francisco Estrada at number 9. And rounding off is Arthur Beterbiev, and he just fought as well last week. This is the Top 10 Ring Magazine. Any thoughts on that? Manny Pacquiao's not there.
No, Triple G. You think he's too high up on there?
No, I think 8 is good. I think he's 8. I mean, the last fight he didn't look that good.
Yeah, he struggled.
He struggled with but he connected more accurate punches. People thought that he didn't win the fight. I thought it would have been a draw, or if he won, which he did, by very close by 1 point.
Do you think he's on his downfall of his
No,
career?
I think he was sick.
Okay.
And he was ill. The guy was tougher.
What do you think about him training, changing trainers?
I think he should have stood with Abel Sanchez, but who knows what happened, man? You know, I don't, it affects fighters when they change. You know what I mean? I guess. I think he should have stood with him, man. With Abel Sanchez, they had a close relationship, but who knows, man? Money talks, and they have their differences, man. I don't know if he'll come back to him.
It's a business.
Yeah, it is a business, you know. But yeah, the last fight, Triple G didn't look that good. He was ill, but I saw it, and I thought he connected the most accurate punches. The other guy's face was all tore up. Triple G did go to the hospital. He was ill. He had some type of flu. But we'll see who he'll fight. Maybe the rematch. I don't want to see Canelo and him no more. I think it's done. I think he should fight this guy again.
Oh, the guy he just lost.
Yeah, the guy was Sergey Derevchenko, or with a D, Derevchenko, or he was good. But I think that guy wanted to fight Canelo. Canelo ducked him. Mm-hmm. He's tough, man. He's a tough fighter. But I think Triple G should come back and focus on him and beat him even more. Beat him now convincingly, so everybody can shut up. I like Triple G, but he's good at top 10.
Yeah, I like him.
I think he's pretty good. He's fought everybody too. He's calling out Canelo. All right, Bobby. Any last words, man? While we wrap up the show, it was pleasure. MALO Fight Gear, folks. Get your stuff. How do they? If any gym that's hearing, how do they get your stuff?
Well, you can follow me on any of the social medias. There's Facebook, MALO Fight Gear. There's the Twitter, MALO Fight Gear. There's the Instagram, MALO Fight Gear. We have all of our social medias, MALO Fight Gear. Send me a message. I'll be the one that will take you the gloves directly to your gym.
All right, and that's the thing. We're gonna put an order here for Jim. I want some. So, any last words, Bobby, for this podcast, for people viewing, or they're gonna see you, recorded this?
Well, I appreciate you, Tree, for having me here as the first podcast that I'm ever a part of. It's a pleasure just showing up and
just talking boxing.
Thank you, man. Thank you for inviting me, and it's just awesome for Mr. Herman Delgado just bring me over here to web boxing and just showing me the place, showing me the ropes here this morning. Just liking your gym all around. The ring that you have in there, the bags, those water bags, man. Bags. That's state of the art stuff right here.
We have a large collection of aqua training bags here.
Yes,
we have at least 20 of them.
Huge collection, and it's no doubt is a premier here gym in El Paso where you can come get some old school training, and we got some real fighters here.
No, thanks, man. I appreciate it, Bobby. Thanks for coming out here, man.
I thank you, Mr. Tree and Mr. Delgado, for inviting me out here.
Exactly, man. And folks, just don't forget, before we send you off, Las Cruces Pal Boxing will have the Fall Slugfest Saturday, November the 9th in Las Cruces. We'll have more information up on my webpage, www.warriorsedgeboxing.com. So it's been a pleasure, Bobby. It's been a pleasure having you at this gym. This is your casa.
Thank you.
The Warriors Edge Boxing Gym is your home. Good luck to your son on his future endeavors in that sport.
Thank you.
And folks, like we've always said in all my podcasts, and we send you off, I guess be kind to people, but whatever you do in life, whatever you put your heart into it, and also just put God first. This has been the podcast. We'll see you next week. We got an exciting fall lineup coming up. We'll see you next week, folks. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the fights this week, and we'll see you next week. We'll see you later.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.